New Concept Videosports.com presents Northwest Indiana Boys High School basketball. From Highland High School in Highland, Indiana, it's the 2014 Highland Holiday HoopFest Championship. The HoopFest began with 8 teams, and now we're down to the final pair, and it's what we expected when the Griffith Panthers take on the Covington Trojans. The Griffith Panthers had some success over the years, winning 3 sectional championships, their last in 2009. Head coach Gary Hayes, in his 3rd season at the helm, has his team running on all cylinders coming out of the gate with a 7-1 record, whose only loss came at the hands of Chicago Morton High School. Coach Hayes has a talented group of individuals, starting with the Murphy twins, Anthony and Trammell. Add a couple of transfers, Kelston Hayden from Lake Station and Anthony Harris from Calumet, and you have something special. Coach Hayes has brought excitement to the game since his inception, to a school once hailed as a football powerhouse, now has the attention of the state of Indiana, where he has his team ranked at 13. Covington, a small city with a population of about 2,600 people, lies in the western part of Fountain County along the Wabash River in west central Indiana, about 120 miles from the region. This 1A school, led by head coach Kent Chesham in his 11th season, had basketball success over the years, winning 21 sectional titles, their last in 2010, and you can tack on 4 regional championships. Last season, the Trojans had a very impressive 18-2 campaign, losing in the sectionals to Lafayette Catholic Central. We don't know much about this Covington team, but what we do know is this season is just as impressive, starting out 10-0 and ranked 2nd in Indiana's Associated Press poll. Next, high school basketball presented like no other in Northwest Indiana when the Covington Trojans and the Griffith Panthers, 2 teams with a combined 17-1 record, battle for the Highland Holiday HoopFest Championship. New Concept Videosports.com offers all our videos for free at no cost to the schools, parents, or athletes. Just click on the Vimeo button at the bottom of your screen 2 weeks from the time they're posted for your free download. Our sponsors make this possible. Blythe's Athletics in Valparaiso, whose team has been serving your team since 1959, is the leader in athletic apparel and equipment sales. Whether it's off the rack or customized to your specifications, Blythe's has the products and staff to serve you best. Trophies, embroidering, screen printing, athletic shoes, anything you're looking for, you'll find at Blythe's. Visit them today at teamblythes.com, where the athletes shop. By Making Finance Personal, presented by Oak Partners Wealth and Retirement Management in Crown Point and Valparaiso. Tune in to Mike, Jason, and Stephen every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. for Making Finance Personal on AM 560 WIND in Chicago. By the School City of Hobart, who foster intellectual curiosity, natural abilities, critical thinking, and literacy in students, while developing respectful and responsible citizens who are excited about the challenges of tomorrow, confident in their ability to chart the future, and dedicated to the pursuit of lifelong learning. By Doctors Tim and Elisa Mullally and the Indiana Sports and Medical Science Institute in Crown Point. If you're looking for a sports medicine doctor or just a family physician, visit their team today. They're located at the corner of I-65 and US 231 in the St. Anthony's Franciscan Building in Crown Point. And by J&J's Pizza Shack in their 7 Northwest Indiana locations, featuring the piping hot kitchen sink. Try their hot wings and chicken dinners, or a variety of mouth-watering sandwiches. Then top it off with a slice of Eli's cheesecake. Stop by one of their locations today in Hobart, Lake Station, Michigan City, Portage, Roselawn, Valparaiso, and now in LaPorte. The first quarter of play and your free download of tonight's game is made possible by Oak Partners Wealth and Retirement Planning in Crown Point and Valparaiso. Listen to their radio program, Making Finance Personal, every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. on 560 WIND in Chicago. The Covington Trojans won the tip and wasted little time getting on the board when Jordan Ahrens on a spin move drove to the paint before dishing it off to Bryce Cooper, who was all alone behind the arch and splashed it in. And the home team on the scoreboard leads by a tray. But on the Panthers' first possession of the evening, the ball found the hands of Anthony Harris, and on a strong post-up move, softly laid it in for the basket and one. On the Trojans' next offensive set, another three-point attempt that went off the front of the rim, and the loose ball rebound was picked up by the Panthers. Quickly, Kelston Hayden found Anthony Murphy behind the arch right side, and he knocked it down. Next time up, a loose ball foul on the Trojans, and the Panthers have possession again. Back came the Trojans, trailing by 3, but that deficit was erased when Chandler Spring fired in a tray from almost the first row, and this game is tied at a half a dozen. On the Panthers' next possession, they made it look easy when Anthony Harris dropped it in perfectly to Tremel Murphy, who laid it in off the glass. But before you can blink an eye, another tray attempt, this time by Travis Coleman, and without hesitation, he knocked it in, and the Trojans lead by 1. Then it was Tremel Murphy receiving the pass near the right baseline, and given the opportunity to shoot, dropped it in over his defender, and the Panthers have the lead right back. Next, a Panther defensive stop, a drive to the basket that was a bit short, then a loose ball that was picked up by Tremel Murphy, and he laid it in effortlessly. Following uneventful trips up and down the court by each team, a missed Panther shot attempt, a Trojan rebound, and Covington is on the run again. Then a drive to the basket by Jordan Ahrens, and he was fouled on the attempt and will head to the line for a pair. Next, a little defensive backcourt pressure by the Trojans, but the Panthers were able to get the ball up. Then it was Tremel Murphy returning the favor with a nice bounce pass to Anthony Harris down low, and he laid it in, and Griffith has a three-point lead. At the other end, a few quick Covington passes, and the ball found the hands of Chandler Spring, and he locked in on a tray, and the game is tied at 14. Following a Panther turnover, the Trojans had the ball again, but picking the pocket of the Covington guard was Kelston Hayden, and he took it to the hole where he was fouled on the shot. On Covington's next set, Jordan Arons drove to the basket and found Travis Coleman alone in the corner, and he gave the Trojans a lead with the tray. A Griffith turnover on their next possession, and Covington has a chance to extend their lead. For the Trojans, a missed three-point attempt. But right there, giving his team a second chance opportunity was Travis Coleman with the offensive board. Then a bounce pass later, and a Jordan Arons basket. Back at the other end, it was the Panthers helping themselves with second chance opportunities. That ended with an Anthony Harris tip-in. Then in this next sequence, with Covington having the ball out from underneath their own goal, a couple missed attempts, a blocked shot, and the Panthers were on the run. Then at the other end, a spin move, a shot, then a Trojan foul will send Anthony Murphy to the line for two. With under 30 seconds to play in the first and the Trojans with the basketball, another Panther steal. Then a drive to the basket by Anthony Harris, and Griffith leads by three again. Finally, with 1.8 seconds left, a Griffith inbound. A final attempt, and the first quarter is over, with the Griffith Panthers leading the Covington Trojans by three. The second quarter of play and your free download of tonight's game is made possible by Blythe's Athletics in Valparaiso. Their team has been serving your team since 1959. Visit their website today at teamblythes.com, where the athlete shops. The Panthers had the ball to open play in the second, but a one and done, and Covington is on the run. Then at the other end, a drive to the basket, a loose ball, and Griffith is in control again. Then a pass from Anthony Murphy to Tremel Murphy for the easy lay-in. At the Covington end of the court, it was Chandler Spring on the dribble. But a Trojan turnover of some kind will give the ball right back to the Panthers. With 1 minute 45 seconds gone in the second, the Panthers have the ball out from underneath their own goal. With everyone getting a touch, the ball came right back to Anthony Harris, who nailed a three-pointer. And Griffith has their largest lead at 8 and a timeout. Following the timeout, some nice ball movement by the Trojans. Then a no-look pass from Bryce Cooper to Travis Coleman, all alone under the basket, and he laid it in. But the Panthers answered at the other end when Anthony Quintero received the pass in the corner, then dropped in the tray. Then with just over 4 minutes left in the half and trailing by 9, the Trojans were in possession. This time it was Travis Coleman finding Bryce Cooper underneath, and he laid it in easily. With the ball out from underneath their own goal, it was Tremel Murphy in the corner. Then with the eyebrow fake, a drive to the basket, and he muscled in the shot. Next for Covington, another turnover. Then a Panther fast break opportunity. Finally a foul going to the basket, and Anthony Murphy will head to the charity stripe for a pair. Trailing by double digits for the first time tonight, the Trojans were on offense, and receiving the basketball and firing a long tray from the top of the key was Chandler Spring again, and the Griffith lead is back down to 7. Next, a Griffith traveling violation gave the ball right back to Covington. Then with 2:26 left and with the ball out from underneath their own goal, Jordan Ahrens took the inbound and was fouled on the shot, and he'll have a chance to cut the Panthers' lead down to 5. Next, a post-up move at the other end, and Anthony Harris will head to the stripe. Trailing by only 6 and driving to the hoop for the Trojans was Jordan Ahrens with the layup that was blocked. But a ruling on the floor was goaltending, and the Panthers' lead is down to 4. Next for Griffith, a three-point attempt that came up a bit short. But there for the rebound, not once but twice. Then the basket was Anthony Murphy. Then on this next sequence, a blocked shot and a Panther rebound. Then the ball was tipped, and on a smart heads-up play by Griffin Spring, he tipped the ball toward the Griffith player out of bounds, and the Trojans will retain possession. On the inbound, it was Chandler Spring locking in on a tray from Porter County, and nothing but the bottom of the net, and all of a sudden we have a three-point game. Then a foul on Griffith, and Covington will have the ball out from the side with 7.9 seconds remaining in the half. Then a three-pointer that was short, but there tipping the ball to Bryce Cooper for the basket was Chandler Spring, and a nice way to close out the half, with the Griffith Panthers leading the Covington Trojans by the slimmest of margins. The third period of play in your free download of tonight's game is made possible by the School City of Hobart, who foster intellectual curiosity, natural abilities, critical thinking, and literacy in students, while developing respectful and responsible citizens who are excited about the challenges of tomorrow. The third period opened with the Trojans in possession, and they went to work quickly when Bryce Cooper hit Jordan Aarons with an alley-oop, and Covington has taken over the lead. On the Panthers' first offensive set of the half, a one and done, and the Trojans have the ball again. At the Covington end, a shot that was partially blocked and was grabbed by Calston Hayden, who quickly got it down to Anthony Harris for the basket and one. Then an officials' conference on the floor. Then it was declared the basket wouldn't count because of offensive goaltending, but Harris would receive 2 attempts from the stripe. So the Panthers will have the ball out from underneath their own goal. On the inbound, a traveling violation, and Covington will be awarded the ball. Then with 6:11 left in the period and the game tied at 37, the Trojans had another opportunity, and they capitalized when Chandler Spring dropped in another tray, this time from the left wing. Trailing by 3 now, the Panthers had a chance to cut into the lead, but a Griffith turnover and the home team now has a chance to extend their modest lead. And they did just that when Jordan Aarons found Cage Haig streaking toward the basket. And one quick pass later, and the lead for Covington is back to 5. And a Gary Hayes timeout. Then following the timeout, a pass in the paint to Anthony Harris. Then one dribble later, and he powered his way to the basket. And the lead is down to 3 again. On Covington's next possession, a turnover gave the ball back to the Panthers and a chance for them to close the gap even more. It was Anthony Harris again with the turnaround jumper from about 6 feet out, and that was just too easy. Next for the Panthers, a defensive stop and a steal by Tremel Murphy. And he took it all the way to the hoop for a little showtime, but the dunk attempt was off the back of the rim and out of bounds to Covington. On Covington's next chance, a 3-point try that was off the mark, but another offensive rebound when Gage had corralled the loose ball, then laid it in, and the Trojans have extended the lead to 3 again. Following uneventful trips up and down the court by each team, the Panthers had the ball again with 2 minutes left in the third, and still trailing by 3. But a few seconds later, it was Kelston Hayden in the corner, and he launched a tray, and we have a new ball game again. Next, a defensive stop when Anthony Harris intercepted an errant pass, then took it the distance, and Griffith is now back in front. Back the other way quickly was Travis Coleman, and he was fouled going to the hoop, and he'll head to the charity stripe for a pair. Then with 28.6 seconds left in the period and turnovers at each end of the court, the Trojans had the ball again. Finally, with 6 seconds left, it was Travis Coleman with a soft shot off the glass, and Covington leads again. After 3 periods of play, it's what we expected, with the Covington Trojans leading the Griffith Panthers by only a point. The fourth quarter of play in your free download of tonight's game is made possible by Doctors Tim and Lisa Mullally and the Indiana Sports and Medical Science Institute in Crown Point. If you're in need of a sports medicine doctor or just a family physician, give them a call today. They're located at the corner of I-65 and US 231 in Crown Point. And by J&J's Pizza Shack and their 7 Northwest Indiana locations to serve you. The Panthers had the ball to open play here in the fourth, trailing by 1, but a quick turnover gave the ball right back to the Trojans. But on their next possession, an errant pass, and Anthony Quintero's steal, and he took it all the way to the basket to recapture the lead, at least for the moment. Next for the Trojans, a drive to the hoop, then a loose ball that was picked up by the Panthers, then a pass down court to the streaking Anthony Harris for the lay-in. And the Griffith lead is at 3. But on Covington's next possession, they got 2 of those points back when Travis Coleman took the pass in the paint, then on a nice reverse, laid it in. On the Panthers' next offensive chance, a post up by Anthony Harris that came up a bit short. But right there to clean it up was Anthony Murphy to keep the visitors in front. At the other end, it was Bryce Cooper missing a shot from close range. But he was able to grab the rebound and was fouled on the putback and will head to the stripe for a pair. But first, a timeout on the floor. With the basketball and still leading by a point, the Panthers got the ball down low to Anthony Harris again. And on another nice post-up move, Harris was able to score the basket and won. At the other end, a block shot attempt by Anthony Murphy, who then grabbed the ball and got it out quickly to Anthony Harris leading the pack, and he was able to lay it in, and the Panthers seemed to have the momentum early in the fourth period. On Covington's next possession, a quick foul on Bryce Cooper will send the Trojan guard to the line for a one-in bonus, with the Panthers having committed their seventh foul early here in the fourth. Following some sloppy play at each end of the court, the Trojans finally had control, and they capitalized when three-point specialist Chandler Spring took the pass in the corner, then knocked down a needed tray. On the Panthers' next offensive opportunity, a missed tray attempt, then a Travis Coleman rebound, but he was quickly tied up by Anthony Murphy, who stole the ball, then laid it in the basket and was fouled on the play. But the official ruling was that Murphy was fouled before the shot, and Coach Hayes was livid. Then with 3:05 left in the game and still leading by a point, the Panthers have the ball out from underneath their own goal. On the inbound, the ball was dumped in low to Anthony Harris, who lost the handle, and was picked up by Anthony Murphy, who was then fouled and will head to the line for two. Then following the missed Trojan tray to tie the game, a Griffith rebound and the Panthers were on the run again. Then at the other end, a drive to the basket by Anthony Murphy where a foul was called. But the officials were undecided for a moment before calling the block, which will send Murphy to the line for a pair. Then off the inbound for the Trojans, a pass down low and out of bounds and will belong to the Panthers. The Panthers were in no hurry on their next possession. That ended when Tramel Murphy drove to the paint, then laid it in for the score. Next, a costly turnover, and the ball will go back to Griffith, still leading by 5 with 53 seconds remaining. Then a quick Covington foul on the inbound will send Kelston Hayden to the line for a 1 and bonus. On the missed attempt, a foul on the rebound by the Panthers will send Jordan Ahrens to the line for a 1 and bonus. And more importantly, the clock is stopped. But a missed free throw attempt, a Panther rebound, and a quick Tramel Murphy basket at the other end. On the inbound, a three-point shot that came up a bit short. A fight for the rebound, and the ball went out of bounds, awarded to the Panthers. Next, a flurry of action that ended when Griffith's Kelston Hayden stole the pass and went to the basket where he was fouled. Then another discussion by the officials on whether the basket should have counted. Keep in mind, there is no continuation rule in high school basketball. Next, a loose ball, then a scramble. Finally, a possession arrow call will give the ball to Covington. Well, it's what we expected tonight. 2 top state-ranked teams in a game that went down to the final minute. The final score from Highland High School, the Griffith Panthers 64 and the Covington Trojans 56. For our floor cameraman Sam Hicks, this is Bob Guerrero.